Everyone tells you to become T-shaped, mastering one skill deeply while knowing others broadly. But what if that's actually limiting your potential? There's a secret career architecture that top performers use, and it's not T-shaped at all. It's M-shaped, and once you see it, everything changes about how you build your expertise. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which of the 7 signs apply to you, and why being M-shaped might be your biggest competitive advantage in a world that's evolving faster than any single expertise can keep up with. The 6th sign is the one most people miss completely. The career advice industrial complex has been selling you the T-shaped model for years. One deep vertical expertise, broad horizontal knowledge across related fields. It sounds perfect on paper. Master Python coding, understand databases and UI design broadly. Become a marketing expert, know some sales and analytics. But here's what nobody tells you. The world's most valuable professionals aren't shaped like a T anymore. They're shaped like an M. Think about it. Elon Musk didn't just go deep on engineering. He mastered physics, then business, then manufacturing at scale. That's 3 distinct peaks of expertise. The M-shaped professional has multiple deep specializations connected by versatile generalist knowledge. It's not about being a jack of all trades. It's about being a master of multiple trades that create unique combinations nobody else can replicate. When you're T-shaped, you compete with everyone in your vertical. When you're M-shaped, you compete with nobody because your combination is singular. The traditional career ladder assumes you climb one mountain. But what if the real power comes from conquering several peaks and seeing patterns others miss because they've only ever stood on one summit? That restlessness you feel, that curiosity pulling you toward different domains, that might not be distraction. It might be your M-shape trying to emerge. Here's the first sign you're M-shaped. You reach competence in something, maybe even mastery, and instead of feeling satisfied, you feel restless. Everyone around you celebrates your expertise, but internally, you're already curious about something completely different. This isn't lack of discipline. It's not shiny object syndrome. It's your brain recognizing that one peak isn't enough. Take Sarah, a senior software engineer who kept getting pulled toward user psychology. Her managers told her to stay in her lane, focus on becoming a principal engineer. But she couldn't shake the fascination. She started studying behavioral science at night, took courses on cognitive biases, read research papers on decision-making. 2 years later, she's building AI products that feel intuitive because she understands both the code and the human mind. That combination made her irreplaceable. The T-shaped person finds their groove and goes deeper, which works beautifully in stable industries. But we don't live in stable industries anymore. The M-shaped person feels an almost physical discomfort staying in one domain too long because their value comes from bridging multiple worlds. If you've ever been called unfocused or told you're spreading yourself too thin while secretly knowing you're building something bigger, that's sign number 1. Your boredom isn't a bug in your system. It's a feature. It's your internal compass pointing toward the next peak you need to climb. The question isn't whether you should listen to it. The question is, what happens to your career if you don't? Sign number 2 hits differently. You're in a meeting and someone presents a problem, and immediately your brain makes a connection that nobody else sees. A marketing challenge reminds you of a logistics solution you learned about. A software bug triggers a memory from studying biology. People look at you confused when you reference something from a completely different field. Then, their eyes light up when they realize it actually works. This is cognitive bridging. And it's the superpower of M-shaped thinkers. Steve Jobs famously connected calligraphy classes to computer fonts. That's M-shaped thinking. You can't make those leaps if you've only climbed one mountain. Sign number 3 flows directly from this. You solve problems that specialists miss entirely because specialists see problems through one lens. A pure engineer sees technical solutions. A pure marketer sees messaging solutions, but you see hybrid solutions that wouldn't exist otherwise. James worked in finance, got obsessed with game design, then discovered most financial literacy apps fail because they're built by finance people who don't understand engagement mechanics. He built an app that gamified investing using principles from RPGs. Now it has 2 million users because it solved a problem pure finance experts couldn't even see. They were too close to their own expertise. When you have multiple peaks of deep knowledge, you develop pattern recognition across domains. You notice when a problem in healthcare mirrors a solved problem in manufacturing. You see when a failed strategy in education succeeded in military training. This isn't shallow connection making, it's deep expertise in multiple areas creating collision points where innovation happens. If people regularly tell you your ideas seem to come from nowhere, or ask how you thought of something so unexpected, you're exhibiting classic M-shaped cognition. Sign number 4 reveals itself during disruption. When industries shift, T-shaped professionals panic because their vertical is threatened. M-shaped professionals pivot like water flowing around obstacles. You've probably done this without realizing it was a strength. When one skill becomes less relevant, you don't start from zero. You activate another peak and quickly recombine your expertise into something new. Consider what happened during the pandemic. Physical retail experts struggled, but those who also understood e-commerce and logistics thrived. Teachers who only knew classroom instruction floundered, but those who'd also built skills in video production or community management adapted instantly. Your ability to switch contexts without losing momentum isn't fickleness, it's structural resilience. You've built multiple load-bearing pillars instead of one. Sign number 5 is where M-shaped thinking becomes commercially explosive. You create hybrid solutions that literally couldn't exist otherwise. A lawyer who deeply understands AI doesn't just practice law better, they create legal tech products that automate contract analysis. A chef who masters data science doesn't just cook better, they build restaurant optimization platforms. A designer who learns neuroscience doesn't just make pretty things, they create interfaces that work with human attention patterns. These aren't slight improvements, they're category-creating innovations. Maria combined her nursing expertise with her coding skills and her obsession with voice technology to build a healthcare assistant for elderly patients that actually gets used because it understands medical protocols, technical implementation, and human factors simultaneously. No team could have built it because teams have coordination costs and translation losses. She built it alone because all 3 peaks existed in one person. If you find yourself naturally building things that combine your different expertises into products or services nobody else offers, you're not just M-shaped, you're leveraging it for asymmetric advantage. Sign number 6 sounds like an insult, but it's actually liberation. You're unemployable. Not because you lack skills, but because you have too many valuable ones to fit into a standard job description. Traditional roles feel suffocating. You read job postings and think, I could do this role plus 3 others simultaneously and still be bored. Companies want to hire you for one peak, but you know your real value comes from all of them working together. This creates a specific type of career tension. You either find rare organizations that let you operate across domains, or you build your own thing. Most M-shaped people eventually choose the latter. They become founders, consultants, creators, fractional executives, not because they can't hold jobs, but because employment architecture wasn't designed for people with multiple peaks of mastery. David was a designer who also understood psychology and business strategy. Every company wanted to hire him as just a designer. He kept trying to contribute strategic insights and psychological frameworks, but was told to stay in his lane. Eventually, he started his own consultancy where clients pay premium rates precisely because he delivers design plus strategy plus behavioral science in one integrated package. That's the M-shaped career path. You become the category. Sign number 7 is the ultimate validation. You're future-proof in a way specialists never can be. When AI disrupts one of your peaks, you have others. When market conditions change, you reconfigure. The T-shaped professional builds deeper expertise in their vertical, which works until that vertical gets automated or commoditized. The M-shaped professional builds new peaks and connects them in ways that are extremely difficult to automate because the value lives in the unique combination. Your career isn't a bet on one skill staying relevant forever. It's a portfolio of deep capabilities that create compounding optionality. If you've ever felt like you don't fit anywhere but simultaneously could thrive almost anywhere, that's not confusion. That's you recognizing your M-shaped nature and the freedom it provides. Now that you recognize your M-shaped nature, here's how to build it intentionally. The 3-peak strategy gives you a framework. Peak 1 is your foundation skill, something you're already competent in or can reach proficiency quickly. This pays your bills and gives you credibility. Peak 2 should be strategically different but personally fascinating. Not adjacent, actually different. If you're a developer, don't choose database administration. Choose design or writing or teaching. The magic happens in the gap between peaks, not in their similarity. Spend 18 months going deep, take courses, build projects, get real results. Peak 3 emerges from observing where peaks 1 and 2 create unexpected opportunities. This is your multiplication peak. A developer plus designer might discover their 3rd peak in product management or user research. A writer plus coder might find it in technical education or developer tools. Here's the implementation timeline. Year 1, solidify peak 1 while exploring widely for peak 2. Year 2, build peak 2 to genuine competence while maintaining peak 1. Year 3, identify and develop peak 3 based on what you've learned about how your first 2 peaks interact. The key is resisting the pressure to go narrow. Society will tell you to specialize. Managers will tell you to focus. Ignore them unless they're also M-shaped and understand what you're building. Create projects that require multiple peaks working together. That's how you integrate them rather than keeping them separate. Your M-shape isn't 3 disconnected skills. It's 3 peaks connected by intentional valleys of knowledge that let you traverse between them fluidly. Start today. Identify your current peak. Choose your next one based on fascination, not practicality. Then commit to 18 months of deep work. Your future self, standing on multiple summits, will thank you.